Tiger, and you are watching Saturdays with Harper. And I was sitting with my girlfriend the other day, and she has a younger toddler, and she was discussing something that was going on right now that was just driving her crazy. And I can guarantee you, if you are the parent of a toddler, or soon to be the parent of a toddler, or have been the parent of a toddler, you will experience or have experienced this same situation. Now, the situation is the toddler that just says no. Everything you say, everything you try to do, everything's no. And it really takes a lot of strategy getting around the no's with your toddler in the proper way. Some people might think, I'm simply mommy, I'm simply daddy, that's the way it is, you're going to do what I say. But that's a very direct and kind of almost too structured way of going about handling your child and letting them really become who they're supposed to be. How do they become who they're supposed to be if they don't have options, if they can't think for themselves? Now, a point of thinking for themselves, what is the reason these toddlers start saying no all the time? Like, they were fine, they maybe not so much follow directions, but you kind of directed them the whole way when they were babies, and now all of a sudden it's no, 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 no to everything. Well, the reason for that is because toddlers are finally starting to realize, I can think for myself. I have a will of my own. It's not mommy doing everything for me. I am my own person. Now, this is a really, really good thing that we want to encourage, but we need to make sure that we encourage it in the right way so that the child still understands they're the child and they understand that we're the parent. Okay, so how do we do this? Well, there's certain ways to handle it depending on the situation. Let's say it's a situation and it's a matter of what they're having to drink for breakfast. Now, I've done this before too, so don't worry. I'm going to fault myself here. I have gotten up in the morning, gotten my child ready for breakfast. I just grab juice and I set it down for him and I say, there you go. And she says no. She doesn't want to drink juice. She does not want juice. She doesn't want it. It winds up on the floor or wherever else if she decides to throw a tantrum, but she didn't want that juice. Now, what I could have done, especially if I know that my toddler might behave this way, is instead of giving them juice and saying drink it, I could have asked her, now, do you want to have juice or do you want to have milk this morning? And instead of a yes or no answer, juice or milk, that doesn't require a yes or no answer. That requires her to think about it herself and decide, which one do I want? That gives her options and gives her the ability to make her own decision. Now, we're doing this in a very limited area. We don't want to make the options too broad because that's going to be too frustrating for you, the parent. But we do want to provide limited options to our child so they can feel like they're thinking for themselves. Okay, so another way to do this, and I will say that this is a bit of a trick on children, but it does work with the really little ones. Eventually, they will catch on. Let's say you're trying to get them dressed, and you want your daughter or your son to put a shirt on. And you're giving them the shirt or trying to get the shirt on, and they are screaming, no, they don't want to put the shirt on, and it just turns into a total tantrum. Okay, well, instead of picking out a shirt and saying, put this on, or picking out a shirt and immediately putting it over their head, take out the shirt. And I recommend starting this or trying this with a fairly plain shirt, but pick out the shirt and then show it to them and say, okay, how do you want to wear your shirt today? Do you want to wear it frontwards or do you want to wear it backwards? Now, to us, this is achieving our goal. We're getting the shirt on the child, and whether it's frontwards or backwards, if it's a plain colored shirt, I don't really care. But the child, one, thinks it's kind of funny because mommy or daddy is asking me if I want to put this shirt on backwards, and two, I get to choose. So if I want to put the shirt on backwards, I get to put the shirt on backwards, and if I want to wear it forwards, it was my decision, not mommy and daddy's. That gives them the ability to think a little bit for themselves, but overall, we, the parents, are achieving our goal. Now, there is one situation, not really one situation, but one category where this does not apply. You can't give them options, and that's when it comes to safety. Let's say you're trying to buckle your child up in the car, and they are kicking, screaming, no, 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 they don't want to be buckled up. Well, the fact of the matter is they have to be buckled up. It's not an area for push, pull, anything like that. So at those times, you really need to stand your ground as the parent and say, I know that this is frustrating for you, but this is not a time where you have the choice to choose. We can't give you options here. I'm mommy. I'm telling you you need to do this, and you're going to do it. This is kind of the one category where we can do this. We can stand our ground, put our foot down, and simply tell our child, it is what it is because I'm mommy. Now, you'll want to make sure to really be careful when you use this way of demanding your child do something. You don't want to think on a daily basis, or you don't want your child thinking on a daily basis that life is full of just a bunch of demands from your parent. They have to have the options to build that self-confidence, to be able to think for themselves, which inevitably we want them to be able to do as adults. Now, one other thing I wanted to touch on is you may notice, especially with toddlers, that you yourself say no a lot. So there's a lot of no, don't touch that, no, don't play with that, no, stop banging. Watch how much you say no yourself, because that's what your toddler is really picking up on. And if you say no a lot in day-to-day life, they're going to think that's just how you do things, and that's how you should respond. So your child really does pull off of the attitude and the verbiage that you use. So make sure that you're always using positive words. And if you are trying to tell your child no, instead of saying no, try to redirect them onto something else so you don't have to touch on that no subject. Now guys, if you are watching this video on Facebook or YouTube, I'd urge you to go to bowtiger.com and check out our other video blogs there. And as always, we will see you next week. Of course, if you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave that on any of our social media pages. Thanks.